I decided to make Squid Game Season 2 in Roblox Studio because, well, I kinda spent all of my Robux. And I started with red light, green light, which was the simplest of all of the games because all I had to do was build the map, make some models, and script in a movement detection system. And after fixing a couple bugs, we had our first working game. And if you've actually seen Squid Game Season 2, you'll know that they do a vote after every round. So the next thing that I'm going to be adding is a vote system, which means all the players get to vote if they want to stay in the game or if they want to leave. Anyways, it's time to move on to the next game. And the next game is called 6 Legs. So basically you go around this circle with your teammates, completing challenges one by one. But for this game, I didn't want everyone to have to rely on each other, so I made it single player. And I added some custom games. So for this one you have to use the blue one to flip the red one, which is pretty easy if you put your camera like this. Next you have to flip the rock over, then draw a circle, and then after that you have to play rock, paper, scissors. Finally you have to hit this ball up 5 times without it touching the floor. And after all of that you've completed the game. So it's time for voting again, and I should probably explain how it works. So if most players vote to leave, then the prize money will be split between each player. But if they choose to stay, then they'll have a chance to win all of the prize money. And for every player that loses, $1,000 gets added to it. And now it's actually time to create a lot of people's favorite game, Mingle, which is actually one of the hardest ones to make because it means I have to build a map, I have to code in the door system, and I have to code in the round system because there's 5 rounds of it. And I also needed to add some small things like showing which side the player voted for. This is just so people could team up against each other. And finally, after a few hours of coding, building, and bug fixing, this is how it looked. So yeah, I hope that's good for when I release it later, but for now I have to work on the next game. And in Squid Game Season 2, this is the point where they fight each other. But I realized that would be a boring way to end the game, and it won't leave one definitive winner. So I decided to create my own custom game. Something that will be similar to Squid Games, but not actually in the show. And I called it Tightrope. So what you have to do is be the first person to the end. And to move across the rope, you have to make sure your balance is above 0 and press Q and E to move forwards. But you can only press Q or E when the bar's on that side. And the player that makes it to the end wins all the prize money. So now it's finally time to release it and host a challenge in my Discord server. And they're going to be competing for 1,000 Robux. But if they vote to not continue before the end, then the prize money will get split between each player. Anyways, let's start the challenge. Alright, so now we're starting the game and everyone's joining. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so as you can see there's quite a few players and I haven't actually tested it with this many, so let's hope it all works. So as you can see, 9 people actually lost from the first game, but there's still around 20 people left that can win the challenge. So as you can see, everyone's going through the challenges. Some of the people are stuck at the start, but most people actually finish the challenge, which I'm pretty surprised because for the first time playing it, it's a little bit complicated. Okay, so this guy can't get it because the table's in the way, I'm pretty sure. So let's see what happens. And as you can see, 3 people lost that game. So less people are dying each game. But the next game is probably the hardest because it's Mingle, so let's see how they do. 3. Okay, so everyone has to get into groups of 3 and as you can see, I got in with people, but I'm actually invincible so I don't have to help them. But I want the least people dying as possible because I want to see if they vote to leave after this game. 6, okay. So if I didn't get in here, this group of 5 could have lost. And then the rounds were 8, 4, and 2. But now it's time for the final vote. So let's see what people pick. So as you can see, only one person voted to leave, so the Robux isn't going to be split between each player, which means whoever wins this final challenge wins all the Robux. So let's see how everyone does. I realize that you can't actually see the progress of other players, so this is the final winner and congratulations to them. After that, I decided to do a few more games for Robux. And for one of the games, I skipped red light, green light. And for a different one, the game actually didn't load, so I just gave everyone swords and made them fight for the win. Anyways, these were all the winners. And if you want this game as a kit, then make sure to like this video, because if this video gets to 2,000 likes, I'll release it as a kit. Anyways, that's it.